Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? So, yesterday's live stream was positively traumatic. Not just for me, more so for Astrid, poor woman. Started out the live stream, or her day's adventure, depending on how you want to consider it, heading to the trading box to pick up 10 kilograms of salt. And the biggest risk, I thought, would be, oh whoops, there's probably a respawned bear in the region. Well, never saw the bear. Did see a blizzard though. On the way back, carrying 10 kilos of salt and slowed as a result, a blizzard blew in. Okay, you think, okay, blizzard, I could probably find my way through that. Except actually I did kinda get lost. I ended up following the island with the misanthrope's homestead on it. So I kept following the shoreline. When I thought I was going around the headland. Wasn't, but okay. Well, I did, but I thought I was still doing it as I proceeded around. Ran into, what was it, at least 2 wolves in the middle of the blizzard that appeared out of the snow and the wind. And one of those attacks left Astrid wounded. Okay, that's fine, it happens. She bandaged herself up, treated the wounds, treated the infected wolf bite. Everything should have been okay. Stuff I've done, Astrid has done numerous times before. I proceeded on my way. Came across the bear cave, realized where I was, and was able to get to a fishing hut to take shelter. And then discovered that the infection wasn't going away. It had thoroughly set in. And as far as I could tell, all attempts to try and fix it had no effect. Now, I may have done something wrong. Maybe I haven't gone back and reviewed the footage, but as far as I know, I did everything right. Ended up getting through the night with her condition slowly worsening. Struggled back to the Quonset garage and tried to resume treatment with apparently no result. Had to struggle through the next 8 hours on a combination of a stim, which increases your health, and birch bark tea, which increases your health somewhat, and sleeping, and managed to struggle through the necessary 8 hours to recover. But Astrid was fairly close to having her Stalker run end. So that's what happened yesterday. And I should note that, the title for yesterday's live stream turned out to be prophetic, as happens all too frequently. Hence the subject of today's live stream. Don't make prophetic titles for live streams, it rarely ends well. Wasn't intended to be prophetic, but it turned out that way. So, let's see what's going to happen today. I hope everybody's day is going better than Astrid's. Let's grab some food. Well, it's a nice... That lump of rock right there behind the stop sign, it keeps making me think, is that a bear? No, it's not. What am I doing today? Honestly, what I want to do today is play things extremely safe. But it is extremely cold outside, so... Oops. Wandering around in that kind of cold is probably not a good idea. Right. This thing is going through salt like nobody's business. The idea that I could make a second meat curing box seems a little bit daft now. Even though that was the original intent. So, I have water. Okay. Got food. I did collect a whole bunch of reclaimed wood. Thank goodness for that. What am I doing? Ooh. Because of course there's a scurvy risk. So actually what we might do is go do some fishing. Do I want to take a can or a pot with me? There is a can at the fishing hut, so I think I'm good with that. But we will take an extra. I've got... Excuse me a second. I sincerely hope this isn't a resumption of the emergency I had to deal with last night. Okay, no, we're good. Yeah, last night's live stream I had to bring to an abrupt halt because of circumstances beyond my control. What was I doing? Fishing. Which means, if I go fishing, I'm almost certainly going to run into our friendly local bear. But...
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Guess we can't have everything. At least all the wolves should be dead. I need firewood, though. Let's see. Do we have anything I can easily break down? I think I've pretty much denuded the region of easily breakdownable firewood. Well, that was just lying out in the open. Aha! Here we go. Right, that should keep me going for a bit. And I can still run for cover, sort of, if I have to. Still surprisingly cold out here. But as I said, I should take some solace from the fact that the local wolves seem to be mostly dead. Except for that one. I have a suspicion it's the wolves over on the right that came for me yesterday. And there's the bear. There's the bear who has noticed me. Great. Wonderful. Of course, the wise thing to do at this point is simply to run for cover, but I guess that's not in the cards, is it? Yep. Wow, his detection range has certainly improved. So here's the question. Do I try to plink him? Or do I not? I'm not sure I want to be honest. You know, I'm tempted just to leave him for now. Hello, Yogi. I do need the fish. It's a minor problem. But if he is going to be hanging around, I might have little choice. So, do I take him back? Now? I suppose so. That was a good shot, if I say so myself. Where's my travois? Ah.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Guess I'm going to be eating pinnacle peaches this evening. The reason I'm nervous is wolves over there and bear. Because I have been caught out on the ice by the other bear before now. Do I want to leave that and do some fishing now? You know what? I think I'm going to. What time of day is it? Hey Eugene, how you doing? I amused myself with that. You know, I should have brought the... Should have brought the pot. It would make the kicking process a little bit easier, and I forgot, didn't I?
Gotta warm up somehow.
And well, that didn't do much for my scurvy wrist, did it? Oh, I left some water behind here, didn't I?
I'm gonna need to rest soon.
I did. I left water behind with that. Almost prophetic. Oh, it's nice outside. And how are you doing today, Eugene? Oh, yeah, I can... yes, I don't think that's quite happened to me, but, yeah, that's one of the reasons I have wood here. What is slightly disturbing too is that it takes a while for the hut to heat up. Just because you've lit the stove doesn't automatically mean you're safe. Guess I'm doing a bit more fishing.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
Well, that was a very small fish. Ooh. That's not good. Yeah, being in... If you've got... I think if you have the door, you're a lot more safe. For certain values of safe.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Not doing very well with the fishing today. Ah, there we go. That's better.
Man, if I don't rest soon, I'm gonna faint.
You know, I think I'm going to stay here another night. Why not? Oh, why did I leave this so far out? Morning, Anna. How are you doing? The bear is dead again. I have not tried them on this run. I've done them in others.
Come on, little fire. Come on. I can lay down and have a little sleep right here. Feels like night is coming. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Oh boy, I need a fire.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I could certainly do that.
Come on, little fire.
Getting as much vitamin C down her neck as possible. Next time I go to Mystery Lake, remind me to collect as many matches as I have and bring them with me. 'Cause I am properly stinky. Thing is, I don't really want to take the chance. You know what? I can always come back. So the biggest danger so far is that wolf. And that bear, if it's over there. This one spotted me from surprisingly long distance away. I was sort of over there, and yeah, it noticed me. Yeah, because it's a dead wolf. A bear, sorry. Did I set up another trade? I can't remember. Yes, I did. Yeah, not long after the stream started, I got out there thinking, okay, I got vitamin C problems. Okay. Yeah, I had vitamin C problems, and so I thought, I'm going to do some fishing. And the bear was just there, noticed me coming, so of course I took a shot at it, and unfortunately it just fell over. So I was quite fortunate. Yeah, because I don't have enough meat, do I? I suppose the sensible thing to do would be to check out, just in case I need to slaughter my way across the landscape. as usual. Alright. You seem to be okay. It would be kind of funny if the moose was over there and I hadn't seen it. It is, yeah, because the... Yeah, you know what this area is like. You can be quite easily surprised. Anybody want another bearskin?
This gear.
Right. So I've got meat, 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 no meat. I've got enough meat to set up substantial caches all over the place. So, oh, actually, do you know what? There's one thing I wanted to check. I should have done that. Oh, it's not telling me how many calories there are. Some of this is venison, you see. And some of this is bear. No, moose. So that's... Oh, it looks like it's about the same. I think one of those is venison and one of those is bear. Yep. That was rather fortuitous. I can repair the hacksaw. That's why I'm using it.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yeah, it was. As far as I could tell, yeah, they both reduced down to about 900 calories. So, yeah, that's not too bad. I can live with that. It's a shame you can't cure the fat. Not sure what happens if you try to cure fat. Well, I mean in real life, not in the game. Not much to comment on, really, with this. Here I am, stuffing another bear. Yes, I know. I do know that. I haven't got the pemmican recipe yet. I'm fully aware. Ooh, I just realised. I don't want to put the little scraps in, do I? Ah! Silly me. Never mind. As they say, what's done is done.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
I have actually used the cooking oil, I think. Not often, but I have done it. Basically, yes. During COVID, I put a bit of time in it. But essentially, since about mid-October of last year, I have put 585 hours of gameplay into it. Most of which has been live streamed. In fact, all of it, I think, has been live streamed. So, my entire long dark career has essentially been live streamed. Indeed, Anna has. One of my earliest subscribers. After myself and Thivia, I think. Thivia's my Malaysian friend I play Sky Children of the Light with almost every day, as a matter of fact. But she is not normally in a position to show up for live streams.
Barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, I'm not sure that's necessarily true. Well, nah. Don't forget, I have the advantage of having people like Anna giving me advice and pushing me along. Otherwise, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest. It's not the same. Playing on a live stream and learning on a live stream is probably not the same as learning just on your own and maybe watching YouTube videos. Although I did watch, back during COVID, I did watch quite a bit of YouTube videos back then. That was back during COVID, was when going through the day without eating and then just eating at night was what you did. I don't think the carry... I'm not sure when the carry bonus came about, but I don't remember it being a thing during some of the early videos. And I did watch quite a lot of YouTube during COVID. YouTube Long Dark. I'm doing tolerably well.
And this pack is getting kind of heavy.
I still can't get an interloper run started.
I need to find a place to rest.
Right, that's all my arrows. Hey Tony, how are you doing? Oh, this will be her first decent night's sleep in a while. Nice to know nothing's changed in the last couple of hours. Well, if and when... You can't see my from where I'm sitting. You can't even see my PC. It's completely hidden, sort of over that way. Floppy disk drive, CD-ROM drive. Don't know what this is supposed to be. It looks like a CD-ROM drive, but it's not. Is that the hard drive? Now that would be here. Not sure what that is. 5¼ inch, no ejection port. Don't know what that would be. Right. There's no ejection port on it. Oh, there's your CD-ROM/DVD. No. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say it was a CD/DVD, but they always had the manual eject, I think. Oh, right. Let's see what the day is like. Hello, day.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
No, it's not. No. That looks... You mean the five? Yeah, I assume you mean 5¼ inch. No, those would have a manual closing as well. You push it in, manual close, same as the 3½ inch, similar kind of idea. So no, there would be a manual closure there. It would be about the same sort of size, but there would definitely be an open slit. Well, what to do? Oh, I know what I want to check. I can't remember. Did I start another trade? It could be, but I think that's the one below it. I don't have an active trade. Okay. "24 arrows, a full sheath." I wonder if there are any wolves that I can skin. left around. I somehow doubt it, but I will do a quick check. Now that I've got this area clear-ish, and don't worry, I know I don't have any food on me, but there's some cooked fish over there. That poor wolf looks so lonely. No, there's 2 wolves. 3. He's not lonely. Okay. Ah, alright. Now, my bladder is just reminding me of something. I am going to... I am going to go and... I've got a quick story about that, Christopher. I'll be right back. I do have to go to the toilet. I was going to say I had a story about playing Doom where people shouldn't. Back in old grief, late 90s, during the era when I was still married to my first ex-wife, she used to do some work for her local church in South Atlanta. And I can't remember what I was doing, because of the two of us, while we were both sort of computer experts of a sort, I was unquestionably the one with the most experience. Yeah, we did find Doom installed on one of the church's computers, which was a definite no-no. Doom was not approved by Baptist churches back then. Probably still isn't, come to that. So that wasn't the most embarrassing thing I ever found on someone's computer. It wasn't the most embarrassing. I wasn't rummaging around. I can't remember what we did. We were legitimately supposed to be working on the computer, so we weren't sneaking around or anything. But that wasn't the most embarrassing thing I ever found on someone's computer. A few years earlier, when I was still in England, we were testing remote access software, which we'd used extensively, and we wanted to test to see how well it would work with Windows. So my manager basically gave us permission to connect to his computer in his office, which was in a different building, and see if we could get it to work. And it did work. And in the process, we came across his directory of pretty ladies. And we were like, now, okay, fine. All right, we were just going to exit it, never mention it again. There was no particular prescription against it that we were aware of, but it was not something we wanted to necessarily make public. Now, unfortunately, that was the moment at which the connection between the two computers elected to break down. And it was like, oops. So I dashed over to see whether I could get into his office to basically close down the screen. I don't know what quite we were thinking, but it was just one of those things. Okay, we need to tidy this up, clean up, this kind of thing. So I go dashing over there, and I can't remember the precise sequence of events, but what I do remember is, as I approached his office, now his computer screen was not facing. It was one of those glass-fronted, lot of glass in the office, and so while his monitor was not turned towards the corridor, you could very clearly see what was on the screen reflected against the window behind him. Anybody walking past that screen, past that down that corridor, if they'd looked at the right time, they would have seen what we had seen on his screen. And I don't think we could get into the office. I don't think I could. But what I think happened was we went back to the office, and this time we were able to get the connection working and clear the screen. Now, like I said, back at that time, we didn't have the prescriptions against that kind of thing that you do now, but it was still clearly something that you probably didn't want to admit to. And arguably, we shouldn't have been wandering around his computer, but he hadn't got it locked up. We were doing everything with permission, But so the situation was resolved, and as far as I know, there was no fallback from it. No, we didn't want him to know we'd seen it. Now, the story doesn't... No, I didn't just get the shot off. The story... Now, that's bad enough. Okay, that's fine. Except, and I can't remember whether we knew this at the time, this fella was highly religious, as I recall. And as it turned out, something of a scumbag. He actually ended up dating one of his, one of the women who reported to him in a different office, which is really funny because I've nearly dated her myself, and I can't remember why I didn't. But anyway, he ended up dating her. Now, he was married at the time, and his wife was in hospital with cancer. So it was that kind of situation. So, yeah. And the thing is, none of us, and we were all, I was, 27, 28 or something at this point. But none of us, for whatever reason, ever felt the necessity to sort of confront him with any of this or make a fuss of it, It was just a thing. Okay, this guy's a scumbag, who likes looking at pictures of a certain type and cheating on his wife who's dying in hospital. Compared with that, playing Doom on a church computer is positively benign. Now, like I said, I had a narrow escape. Like I said, I came within a hair's breadth of dating the same woman he did. Not at the same time, obviously. And given that she was obviously must have been okay, must have known about his private life, and was apparently okay with it. I'm very glad. I'm looking for fur, as a matter of fact. I've got some now. Fur and Old Man's Beard, but I think I've stripped the island of Old Man's Beard. Yeah, I did. I think part of the thing was, I think she was actually a bit older than me, although that's never been a problem. My first ex-wife was 8 years older than me, so, And the other thing was I had this rather puritanical thing at the time about not dating your colleagues. When we were both reporting to the same person, which is really strange because it's really strange because my first ex-wife and I worked at the same company, and it was only a small company as well. So, but yes, I was moderately fortunate there. Ah, the good old, bad old days. That was back in the days when office parties could apparently get truly interesting. I always seem to miss the really interesting ones. All right, my sense of humor is not kicking in. Don't worry. Don't try and explain. But to be honest, though, yes, I know, I am ignoring it. To be honest, though, none of that wasn't the most shocking thing in terms of content. I discovered at a company, the company I was working for when I first moved to the States. I was the what would you call it? Internet operator. So I got to see what people were looking up on the net. And I'm not sure I can actually mention it, to be honest. And to say I was slightly horrified was putting it mildly. Yeah, no, it didn't involve young people. It just goes to show the kind of person that I am, that I never mentioned it, never used it against him. I didn't tell anybody. I don't think I even told my first ex-wife. No, I have most of the heat in this room actually comes from the computer and the monitors. So if you don't charge straight towards me, I won't shoot you. But no, I don't have that kind of fireplace.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay. I actually don't know what you mean by that. It's not actually too cold here at the moment, but the amount of heat kicked out by this computer, well, this computer, the laptop, and 4 monitors. I've got 4 monitors. There's a picture somewhere on the Discord if you want to see what it looks like. That actually throws out enough heat to keep the room warm, for the most part. No, AMD.
And this pack is getting kind
But you are truly dating yourself, For some reason, whenever I build a computer, I always go with AMD. I think I've checked the firewood over here, have I not? That's cedar. So is that. I always check because one day I won't. Can you even buy Pentium 4s anymore? I wouldn't be surprised if you could. After all, you can still, last I checked, you could still buy Z80s and 6502s. There's still a market for them. There's still a market for some of the very old chips. I'm assuming for extremely low power applications. But I think even these days, something like a graphical calculator, I don't know whether it uses something as powerful as an old P4, but you can run Doom on, I think you can run Doom on a modern graphical calculator. Heck, you could run Doom on a toaster. I've forgotten what the CGA standard was now. Trying to think. What was the first standard I remember? Do you know what I don't remember? The computers when I started using what we now think of as PCs, was 1988. Was when I actually started professionally using a PC, and we were using monochrome graphics cards because they provided the resolution that we needed. I'm ignoring you now. So yeah. Oh, good heavens, yes. No, we used monochrome computers, literally black and white, because we were doing document management systems. In black, we didn't need color, so we had these massive 21, 24-inch cathode ray tube monitors that were exceptionally heavy, and we had a resolution of 1600 by something or other on an old Hercules graphics card, back when Hercules was one of the standards, and I can't remember what the connection was. My first computer, the first computer that I used extensively was my father's. It was a Commodore PET, and that was around about the same time that the Spectrum came out. But so no, I learned computers essentially on a Commodore PET, which was much nicer to use than a Spectrum because it had a proper keyboard and a proper screen, green text on a black background. But if you remember that, yeah, the choice back then wasn't color and black and white. Well, there were color monitors, but you had amber screen, you had green screen, both of which were monochrome, and then you did have color screens, yes, color monitors, because things like the Apple II used them. They weren't very good, not by our standards. I would have to look it up to find out what that is. At college, well, when I say college, that's Americans' high school, so 16 to 18. We had a computer lab, and it had BBC micros in there, which were a 6502 based system that was actually surprisingly good. And we had Commodore Pets, now that I remember it. The government had a sort of program going to basically get computers into all the schools. And so a lot of places, a lot of schools had BBC Micros, but not with floppy disk drives. They had cassettes. So that's what we did. I started out with cassettes, not floppy disk drive. Right, what time of day is it? It is getting on.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Oh yeah, the Commodore 64. So there are. You can still. I think you can still buy Commodore 64s, can't you? You can certainly buy Commodore 64 emulators. Oh, Clippy. Yes, I remember Clippy. What do I have on me that I need to drop? Oh, nothing apparently. No, at the university. Well, it's a university now. Back then, it was called a polytechnic. People who were doing computer science, we didn't actually use PCs at all. We used VAX 11750 and 780s. Mini computer. Why am I carrying 3 shell casings? And I've got a spare bullet somewhere, haven't I? I know I picked up a bullet. I forgot to do the obvious thing. You would have to... Yeah, you'd have to go onto eBay, probably. And it looks like the wolf had a good chew of my feet.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Whoa, that sounded ominous in my left ear. That was quite a booming tone I heard. Strangely, I actually have an old monitor that does take a VGA input. Actually, do you know what? I got a suspicion the monitor above my head actually has a VGA input, and it's new. This is not an old monitor. This is a recent manufacture in the last couple of years. I think it's got a VGA input somewhere. I think there are still monitors out there which have a VGA input, but I'm not 100% positive.
Heavy.
I need a screenshot for tomorrow. It's not a very good screenshot, but at least I won't be reusing
Sun
something.
setting. It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
With apologies to everybody while I wander down memory lane. In an era that... Well, fortunately, that doesn't tend to happen. Don't give the devs ideas. I would not be happy about that. No,
I'm not
forgot
sure
to
I can
collect
carry much
water.
more.
And I'm going to need to make more water. Because of course I am. Is it giving me ideas? I don't want a bare-skinned rug at this point. Okay, I've got 5 firewood. Do I really need to make another meat curing box? That's the thought. Don't think so, do I? Alright, what am I doing? I do not have a trade active. And I've kind of been waiting. Oh, yeah. Not going anywhere in this. So I guess we're making water. This is very true. Maybe he sat on the toilet. Okay. Let's, oh, that's empty. Empty. Oh. Is that where I put all my sticks? A silly question, because I thought I had some of them over here. No, but I do want that. Where did I put the simple tools? Cloudy. Cloudy, getting colder, a bit miserable. You know, that kind of thing.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Did I put crafting stuff over here? Nope. Well, yes, sort of. Yeah, we're definitely going for the miserable vibe at the moment. Water and fish cooking while the weather does things outside.
Come on, little fire. I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh no! I hope that's not serious. Take care, Anna. No idea. And I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
And in case anybody's wondering, I've already researched those books, so... Thanks for sharing that little tidbit. I say, I'm confused. Why am I carrying 48 kilograms of stuff? What am I carrying that's so heavy? Oh, is it the blasted fish? Of course it is, yes.
This pack is getting kind of heavy.
I swear this game is having fun with me. Number of times I've stepped out of here to see that the other coastal bear in this region or going up that hill. Not today, apparently. I'm never going to get my vengeance on that bear, am I? Nope, I never saw the Nutty Professor, I don't think. Let alone the sequel. Well, I'm actually at a... I sometimes do have plans. And right now I'm trying to decide what it is I am going to do. Because I've been to, I've got the woodworking tools. I've got a sort of mental plan to... Hey, Danny, how are you doing? Good to see you. I've got an idea of making furniture that, well, you yourself have planted in my head. In order to make the furniture, I'm going to need a few bits like ptarmigan down. So given that the nearest ptarmigan is Mystery Lake, a trip back to Mystery Lake would not be completely inappropriate. Especially now that I can hunt the ptarmigan properly. So another ptarmigan hunt is definitely on the cards. Now I'm looking at wandering around the various maps, picking up parts of furniture. Oh no! That's interesting. Why was that drifting? I'm not imagining it. I'm drifting. No, it must have been the position I was standing in. Huh, how strange. So, I do need a bunch of ptarmigan down. Trading for rifle ammunition because I would like to get some. Because why not? yeah, you know, so that's a distinct possibility. Head off to Mystery Lake for that. Anything else becomes random exploring. I mean, yeah, I've done that. It's a good way of killing yourself, but I've done it. I'm going to have to cogitate. I do kind of want to emulate Eugene there and make this into a proper little home instead of this whatever it is. Put up some proper furniture, you know, that kind of thing. I kind of would like to do that. Hello, Peanut. Hello, Lola. I'm glad you got your internet back. I could always go back and... Oh, do you know what, though? The problem is, I was about to say, I could go back and do some reloading. I really don't want to do that yet, because I'd have to go through cougar territory. And I have no experience with the cougar. Actually, do you know what? It might be interesting to do a run where its sole purpose is to actually face a cougar. Just for the practice. That's an interesting idea. That would be an interesting sort of idea. Yeah, I do actually need to develop more of a plan. I mean, food I have in plenty. I got enough skins to last me a while. I do need fur. That's the type of wood from a tree, not the stuff from an animal, obviously. But I just thought I'd make that clear. Yeah, I do need to cogitate a bit on what it is I want to do next. I do want to go through the trades. Definitely want to do that. I ought to go back to the mine, see whether or not the salt has respawned there. And that's its own minor challenge, of course, because I've got to go through bear territory again. This particular region off to my left should be safe until, what, Friday? Oh, that's a nice little picture.
It's getting dark out here. Time to look for shelter.
There we go. That gives me a couple of screenshots for a couple of days. I should, if I'm going to be building furniture, I should start accumulating cedar and fir, I suppose. I'd like to get rid of the lockers. Make a proper bed. Why? Why would I do that? Check someone else's email?
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Well, I think what I'm going to do, now that I have dithered enough, is... yeah. I think what I'm going to do is get Astrid through the night and slowly start bringing this live stream to a close, because there's not much I can do in the time I have left available. Except maybe we'll get an Aurora. Actually, there is a laptop in Mystery Lake. Isn't there? It's in the Rangers station. Well, looks like no Aurora for us tonight.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Well, at least we don't have a blizzard. Well, I think I'm going to bring this to an end. Get some lunch. I need to adjust this chair a bit. Thank you everybody for watching. Do appreciate it. If anybody feels like leaving a like and a subscribe, that's always going to help us grow. Or me grow. And this is the bit where I go into my usual spiel about my schedule. So this evening, if all goes well, assuming no emergencies to deal with, I will be online with Warframe at 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The Long Dark will return at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I hope you all have a very good day. I will see you all next time.